What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in this week. It is the week after Christmas. If you guys probably noticed, I know some of you did, I didn't upload a video last week during Christmas. I was spending time with family. I hope you guys got to do the same. We've had family here all week, and my son just left to head back to Michigan today. So I'm going to try to get a video out. I do want to update you. I do have some progress made. As you can see, we're back out of the basement. I've got the tiny camper pushed back out. I had it in there during the cold weeks. We had a couple, last month actually. And I wanted to get that rubber coating on the roof while it was inside so it had time to cure before we pushed it back out. But I've got the top done. I've got a lot of stuff done to the inside. We're making some huge progress. I did want to make a quick video this week and get it out to you guys. It's not going to be anything special, but I do want to update you, that those of you that are following along anyway. Show you where we're at because we're really close. I've already started pulling wires in there and we're really close to throwing the insulation in. I've got the spray foam mostly done on the inside and we're going to be putting up walls very soon. This thing's going to start coming together. So let me show you where we're at. I'm going to show you the roof first and I'll show you all the changes I've made to the inside. And I've added a couple of I've changed the way I'm going to do one or two things that I've been showing you guys. I'll go over that and why I've changed my mind on one or two things. And I've added something really cool to the other side of this that I didn't even know existed until last week. So let me show you guys. I'm pretty thankful right now. It is early morning, still December. Today is the 27th, I believe. So we're 2 days after Christmas and it's going to be like 70 degrees outside today, which is kind of nuts, but I'm kind of thankful. So I was able to get out here and do some work to it outside. I still got to get some lights added up under this new carport because about 4 o'clock right now, it gets dark and I can't do anything out here. But you can see I've got a big hole with the AC poking out that side, and I'll get to that in just a minute. I want to show you guys the roof really quick. I do have the tent set up there, but it is not mounted yet. I'm waiting on the gasket to get here that I went with to seal up the top. But you can see the whole top has been completely rubber coated. This is 2 very thick coats of RV rubber coating. And I've done it while it was still stuck in the basement. And I was able to crank the propane heater up down there, keep the temperatures high, and I completely sealed this entire top. Even the walls that go up, the little tunnel that I built to get in and out up to the rooftop tent, I was able to seal every bit of it with no problems. I've got my cover on the Max Air fan that I've got put in the front, or the knockoff version of Max Air fan, but I was able to seal all the way up to that. This is just kind of a protective housing. I think I showed you guys last week. And the roof turned out great. I didn't need to do this rubber coating. You know, it had that stainless steel top on it, but after I'd cut all these holes and I sealed everything up, I wanted to do, one extra step because I knew that once I put the tent on here, I wouldn't go back and do this. So I went ahead and did it. And plus, it's such a small camper, I was able to do it for $60. One gallon did 2 really thick coats on this little tiny camper. So it didn't cost me much extra. And it's a good, precautionary thing that I was able to do to the roof for the future. So it worked out great. Once the gasket gets here, I'll be able to finalize, lock the tent on where it goes, and then we'll start working on the inside of the tent, getting the mattress cut up and the little porthole hatch design that we're going to put up there. But let me show you where we're at on the inside really quick. And there's no lights out here, so I'm going to open this door first. And I'll open up this one to get us some light in here. And I'll show you. You can see my tools are all piled in there. I'll come out here and work when I can. While the family was here visiting, I'd come out here and tinker in the mornings before everybody got up some. But I've got the sink installed. You guys seen that. And the lighting is not going to be great. But I've got the fireplace finally mounted. It's completely bolted in. It's solid. I've got the AC porthole cut out and designed. Let me get in here and show you. You can see I built a frame. I didn't want the AC sticking completely outside. I wanted, to be able to get as much in here as possible. That way I didn't have to worry about how I was going to do the outside and cover up the outside. And I'm going to go over in just a minute how I plan to do that. But I did build me a little offset area right here. It brings the AC in a little bit. This is going to be a wall, and then this is going to be a wall encased around it, and it'll look really good with a little shelf right on top. I went with this air conditioner. It's a cheap $120 AC off of Amazon because if it goes out or I have issues with it in the future, It'll be a very cheap and easy replacement, and it should really, I mean, this is a very tiny space that we're going to be cooling. It should do really good in here. You can see I got the TV mounted. That is a 32-inch, and it looks like a massive TV on the inside of this tiny space, but I think it'll look good. I put riv nuts in this main beam so that when I put the wall up, I'll be able to just drill holes where those riv nuts are and bolt it straight to the actual trailer. So we're not hanging this on, you know, a flimsy wall or anything. It will be bolted to the trailer. It should do good. The same way I've got the fireplace, it is completely bolted. I've even got the little kick downs bolted up back here in the back, so it's solid. And you can see I've got spray foam kind of hanging out of all these little tiny cracks. And I got to go back and trim it soon, but I wanted to go ahead and get one good coat of spray foam in every little crack before we start getting into flooring and stuff like that. And now I'm gonna try to step back and show you what I'm doing with this wiring. So some of you guys already know, if you've been following along, up under the bed here, this is going to be the bunk. This is where everything is going to live, for power, for heat, for water, and everything. So the water tank will be under this side. Then I may have an area for a little bit of extra storage up under here, but the main power situation is going to go right up under this side. I'm going to have a wall built. It's where the inverter is going to be. It's where the batteries are going to live. So all of my wire, all the 12 volt and 110 will flow straight to this area here, and this is where all the connections are happening. So right now, before we start doing insulation, I've started running all of my DC wire. This is a 14 gauge wire, and it will run the puck lights that will eventually be in the ceiling. I'm waiting on them to come in now. And there's going to be one puck light here, and then 1, 2, 3 over here, one here, and then 1, 2, 3 over here. There should be plenty of light when we get done. And I'm also gonna probably go one step forward, since this is gonna be our hatch that leads up into our tent. You see, this is gonna be walled to match the ceiling. It's gonna look really good. And I think I'm gonna put some flush mount lights on this side so that they'll be on their own button for the tunnel. And if I just need light to see to get up and down, I'll be able to flip those on, and it should shine right on the ladder, which is going to be hanging down right here, and just have an extra little porthole light. I thought that would be pretty cool. And then we've also got our exterior light and stuff like that we're going to be adding. But it's coming along. We're getting there. I'm going to pick up the 1-inch insulation this week. Now, as for the changes that I mentioned that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be changing the way that I figured out that I'm going to get the air from the inside of the camper up to the top. And what I mean is if you watched, I think, the last week's video, you've seen where I cut this hole in and I added that magnetic dryer vent hookup I was going to have sticking out here, and then you just drop it down and it magnets, and it would work great. But I think I'm going to change it up slightly, because the fan that I'm installing here, I can't really cut it down the way it's designed, and it sticks out pretty far. And then in order for me to use the magnet piece that we got for the dryer, it would end up being way out here. Like, I don't know if I can show you, but it would be like way out here, like 8 inches off the side of the trailer. And I didn't really want to do that. And I had another idea, and I like to use those Pelican boxes or the Apache boxes from Harbor Freight on stuff like this. You've seen me do it in the past where I add, you know, an outside water tank to a trailer or something like that, and I enclose it in one of those Apache boxes. It works great. You can lock them if you want to. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I went to Harbor Freight and I picked up one of their smaller Apache boxes. I didn't go with the smallest one, because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount the Apache box here. The fan is going to bolt from the inside. This is the exhaust fan that's going to just pump the hot or cold air from the inside of the camper up to the porthole in the top of the tent. But the plan is I'm going to mount the Pelican box to the side over this hole, seal it, and make it where it's watertight. Nothing will leak in or, you know, around the seal. And then I'm going to cut the same circle hole from the inside through into the Pelican case or the Apache case. And once that's in there, I'll be able to slide the fan through, mount it, and it will stick out on the inside of the Pelican box, or I keep saying a Pelican. You know, you guys know what I mean, the Apache case. So that fan is now going to be protruding out into the case, and I'll be able to shut and open the case to access it. And then I went with the bigger box. It's not the biggest one, but I went with a good size so that I could go ahead and connect the hose that I use, you know, that black hose for the heat that I use. I'll go ahead and be able to connect it to the back side of the fan and keep it inside this box and just keep it shut. So that means when we get to camp, we pop the tent up. I come out here, I open up this Apache box, I grab the end of the hose, and I stick it in the tent. And that's all it's gonna take. And then it'll be completely sealed. I won't have to keep the hose somewhere else. It'll all be contained as one unit right here. And I think it'll work really good. I'm gonna do that with this right here. And I may do something similar with the exterior water heater that we got. So this is the AC unit that's sticking out. You can see that it sticks out of the camper now. I think this is right at 5.5 inches down here. And I do have it mounted on the angle. You know, when you install one of these window units like this, you've got to install them in a way where they can drain, and you don't want to have to rely on tilting your trailer to get the drain. So I did mount it with the factory drain angle that needs to be able to drain out the condensation. But you can see I've got the hole now, and I did frame this up, so this is a solid mounting point all the way around. And the plan is I've got a buddy who has built his tiny camper from scratch, and he built his completely out of wood from the ground up. You will see it on the channel soon. I can't wait to show you because it's an awesome build that he did. But the way he hid his water heater on the outside was he had it mounted to the outside of his camper, but he hated just actually seeing it, and he didn't want to do the Apache, you know, box thing. He wanted it a little bit bigger. So he built a long box out of wood, but then he had it raptor lined inside and out. You would never know that this is a wooden box, trust me. When you see it, you'll be like, man, that looks like an actual Pelican case or whatever. But he was able to build his own Apache style or a Pelican style case out of wood that mounts to the trailer and completely seals up. And he's a cabinet maker, so he's really good at this stuff. And he built it longer because the thought is you don't want it to look like an afterthought. I don't want anyone to know that I have an AC sticking out of the front of this trailer. If I was to just build a box that was the same shape as this and stick it over it, you would know without a doubt that there's an air conditioner hanging out of the front of this thing. And I don't want that. So our plan is I'm going to get with him, and we're going to build one that goes the full length all the way right down in here somewhere. So it's not just a cover that slips over the air conditioner. It's going to go all the way down to here, and that'll also give me a place to mount our fuel system for our diesel heater. I'll be able to mount it out here and keep it enclosed, and it'll be completely sealed up with a door, so when we get to camp and I need to run the air conditioner, we just come outside and open the door. It can drain right out into it. It won't hurt anything, and that'll completely hide this. Once it's on there, and the way he designs it, he adds the little ribs and everything, just like on a Pelican case. You would never even know that it's a homemade thing. I can't wait to get with him. We're going to do measurements this week and get to work on getting that built. I think it's going to be pretty cool. All right, I know I'm just running through this video. We've still got company coming for New Year's, so I wanted to get out here and show you some of this cool stuff. I know some of you have already spotted this thing hanging off the side of the trailer. This is my new add-on. As you can see, I've took the pop-out shower down. I'm going to relocate it somewhere else. I'm not sure where it's going to go yet. It may go on the back of the door, so when it swings out, we've got the shower over here. But I wanted to make sure that I incorporated this guy right here. And no one that I have showed this before I opened it had any clue what this actually was. Everybody kept thinking that I mounted a projector screen to the side of the trailer. But what this actually is from a company called Arcane Warrior. And this is the Revolve Pivot Master X90. This is an actual telescopic fold-down hideaway ladder for getting in and out of your rooftop tent, and they got a few different lengths. I went with their big one for this because once the suspension is on this thing, it's going to be much taller. But let me show you how this thing works. All right, hopefully this shot is good. It looks kind of dark on camera. The sun's just come up and it's super cloudy out here. So like I said, this is the Revolve Pivot Master X90, and it's from a company called Arcane Warrior. I'm gonna have this linked in the video description below. They did send this out to me, but this is one of those items that I reached out to them. There's not another one like this on the market. I haven't seen anything like this on the market. And I seen an ad for this on, I believe, Instagram, and it blew my mind. When I seen it, I was like, holy cow, that is the coolest thing that I've ever seen. I reached out to them, told them what I was building. They was like, hey, I think it would work great on there. We'll send you one. Just tell us which length you have or you'll need. They do sell these in shorter lengths. I think they've got 3 or 4 different sizes. So if you've got a low profile vehicle or you've got a big jacked up truck or you're putting it on a camper or something like that, you just make sure you measure your length from your tent to the ground and you pick the ladder that best suits your needs. It's lightweight. It mounts with T-tracks on the back, just like an awning. I mean, it just mounts up and it looks good. It's flush, and you would never know that this is a ladder. You just reach up, you mash this button, pull it out. It comes down like this. It's got a strut on here. I'll show you guys up close in just a minute. Now the sad thing is, since I don't have any suspension on the trailer yet, I can't go fully out with it, but it's telescopic. So you mash these 2 latches on the back, and this ladder actually comes all the way down. Sorry, my dog started barking at a deer again. But this thing actually will go way further down. Once the suspension's on, this is their large, I believe. I believe this is the biggest one they got. You can see it's almost the same length as the tent, and it comes down and goes up. It's so simple. If I'm done with it, you go up, you latch it, you pick it up like this, and you put it up. That is the easiest ladder that you will ever see for overland camping or rooftop tent camp or anything like that. Now, it's not super wide. It's just made for you to be able to climb straight up and down to get in and out of the tent, access the roof of your vehicle. But when I seen this, I was like, holy cow, that is the perfect thing for the build that I'm doing. Now, I know some of you guys will be like, you've got a hatch on the inside. Why would you want an outside ladder? The main reason is, say we're camping and my wife and I are camping together and she's taking a nap inside the trailer. I need to get into the tent. I don't want to go in there and disturb her, so I can come around here, pop this down, and climb up and get whatever I need out of the tent. Or the other reason, like if she's up there sleeping and she's already got the hatch closed on the inside and she's got the bed laid out and she's sleeping, if it's time for me to go to bed, instead of trying to wake her up and go through the tent on the inside, I can just come around here, click the ladder down, climb up, and get in the tent. It's going to work great. It takes up almost no extra space on this build, which I think is cool. And I won't have to carry around an additional telescopic ladder for the outside. It's already going to be here, and it's going to be great. I may end up putting one of these on my truck as well because it's pretty lightweight. It's nowhere near as heavy as an awning, and it mounts kind of seamlessly. It looks good. I think I'm definitely going to probably put one of these on the truck. I'm kind of excited about this thing. Let me show it to you up close. So here's the mounting case right here when the ladder is deployed down, and I'll try to show you how it mounts. You can see there, see the T-tracks going across the back. So it's basically the same mounting setup as a 270 awning would be, except for this is an awesome telescopic ladder. They've got their little logo right here. It's got the open and close. It tells you right here when it pivots out. It's even got a little strut in here, and it's hinged so that it can flex. So if your terrain is a little bit offset, or your camper's not, or your truck, whatever you got this on, is not completely level, you can actually just set this thing up and it will self-level itself with all of these extra attachment points. There's a lot of engineering, I guarantee you, that went into building and designing that right there, the way it works. It's heavy duty. It's aluminum. Everything is screwed together as it should. It's got the little warning labels here, and then you can see how it looks from the side. Here is the back handles. There's one on each side. This is how you operate the telescopic part that goes up and down. You just squeeze here and it'll slide up and down. Here's the main handle that you would reach up and push with your thumb to shut it. I might even be able to do this with one hand here. Well, hold on. I need 2 hands to be able to do that part. So I've got it to that. I just slid it up, and now you just grab here, you walk up, and that's it. And look how slick it looks up here. Almost completely flush with that. It's actually thinner than a rooftop tent, but this is a full-length ladder. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I will have this linked in the video description with the promo code. I'm pretty sure when I reached out to them, they did send me a discount code for me to share with you guys. So if you're interested in getting something like this, or you need a good ladder, this thing is going to be cool. I can't wait to put it to use on this setup. Now, I got a few comments from you guys over these last couple of videos. Some of you guys who've been with me for a while have been watching the channel and my DIY videos and stuff for a long time. And you were kind of upset because I haven't been going into detail on how I'm building this. I know most of my DIY builds, my trailer builds and stuff like that, I make videos and I show exactly what I'm doing, and I do it kind of with you guys. And it makes sense. I enjoy filming stuff like that. And the reason you haven't seen that out of this build lately is because I've had it crammed inside of a basement with horrible lighting, and I didn't want to put out a video, you know, of me trying to weld up a hole or cut a hole in the ceiling and then build all that we built, and it just be horrible quality. It's just the lighting was bad. But now that I've got this outside, we're going to be able to do stuff, and I'll probably make better videos, I guess, showing you guys the actual process of me doing it. We're going to be pulling wires and doing the insulation and the floors and stuff like that. And since I can actually film out here with a little bit of light and I can actually move around and breathe, I was crammed in that basement. I could barely move, you know, pulling a welder cart around and all that other stuff. It would just made it way worse to try to film, and I didn't think the quality was going to be good enough. But I am going to try to make some better videos, so I apologize that those were just kind of update videos on what I've been doing. I will get you guys involved with the rest of this build, hopefully. Once the tent is set, the gasket will be here, I think, this week. I'm going to lock that thing down, get the gasket on. It'll be completely on there. The tent's not coming back off, so this thing will never go back in the basement again. It can't fit. So it's permanently out here, and I'm just going to get to it. We're going to do the insulation, the wiring, walls. I'm going to treat this as two different areas, I think. I'm going to focus on the front half and the sleeping area and kind of ignore the kitchen area for a little while because I'm getting overwhelmed trying to think about what I want to do everywhere. So I'm going to focus on the front. We're going to knock out installing the power, the wires, and everything up there, get it all locked in. Once we finish the sleeping area, the TV, you know, the fireplace area, then we'll move back here and I'll really dial in and figure out how we're going to do the kitchen. I've got most of it figured out. I haven't decided on the pantries yet, how I'm going to do those, and where I'm going to add the water heater in the back. So I'm going to leave that on the back burner. We're going to focus on the front half of the trailer, knock it out, and then we'll move to the kitchen portion and hopefully build a really cool kitchen. And then we're going to be ready to put suspension on this thing. And hopefully this spring, we're going to be out by the lake testing this thing out. I'm really excited. So y'all stay tuned for those videos. I think it's going to be cool. This is not going to be something that you could just go buy, you know, off a lot somewhere. Yeah, I understand you can do tiny campers. I've bought one. I bought the Jayco Feather Light Mini a couple years ago. The video did really well here with you guys. You loved it. But I can remember the quality of that camper compared to what I'm doing to this one. And it's night and day. Night and day. You can't buy something like what we're going to build here together with all the stuff that's going to be part of this. Is going to be completely off-grid camper. Shore power hookup, but if I don't want to go somewhere where there's power or water, we're going to have it built in right here. I think it's going to be pretty cool. So y'all stay tuned, hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you guys next Monday. Happy New Year's, by the way. I think this is going to come out right around New Year's. So Happy New Year's, and I guess I will see you guys next year. Peace.